Joining us from Washington, D.C. is Thomas Countryman. He's a former acting Undersecretary of Arms Control and International Security at the Department of State, and he was also removed from office by Donald Trump just over a year ago. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to join us. So we've heard about how the disagreements have been going on for a while now. What do you make of the timing of this sacking?
It's very difficult either to predict or to analyze the timing of the decisions made by the White House under this administration. So I'm not sure what drove the decision. I do know that there are a number of reasons to be concerned about the decision coming at this moment and how it will affect important foreign policy priorities for the United States in North Korea, in Iran, in Russia. And those are the topics where I fear that a new Secretary of State who is more hawkish on these issues and less likely to disagree with the president or to seek to explain to the president the costs of some actions, I'm concerned that this will be a more dangerous U.S. foreign policy in the coming months.
Dangerous in what way? I mean, one thing that Trump has talked about in the past is this idea of breaking the Iran deal if necessary. Where do you think Pompeo would take that decision? I mean, and how quickly might he go down that road?
Mr. Pompeo, as both a congressman and as the director of the CIA, has echoed President Trump's criticisms of the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear agreement, and that's of great concern. I think that if the United States follows through on the president's threats and tears up this agreement or walks away from it, that it will have several effects. Number one, it will damage United States credibility for years to come, and it will have an immediate effect upon the prospects of reaching any kind of agreement with the North Koreans as they propose to do it in May. I don't think either Mr. Trump or Mr. Pompeo have ever explained how they can criticize the North Koreans for cheating or walking away from previous deals and at the same time say the United States is ready to walk away from a valid deal. It's simply inconsistent, and I haven't seen any credible explanation.
I mean, clearly there are always huge issues on any president's plate and also on a Secretary of State's plate. And what about things like the GCC crisis or other areas of the Middle East? What kind of change do you expect under a different dynamic with someone like Pompeo at Trump's side?
Well, I'm not aware of any statements that Mr. Pompeo has made either as a congressman or during his time as director of the CIA about the dispute within the Gulf Cooperation Council. But I go back to my earlier point. If, as the president says, Mr. Pompeo and Mr. Trump have the same thought process, have the same wavelength, in that case, I do worry that we'll have a Secretary of State who is not capable of telling hard truths to the president and is simply going to be a yes man and going along with the president's instincts, whether they are rational instincts or not. I hope I'm wrong about that. There's certainly a chance that Mr. Pompeo could surprise us as Secretary of State. But in the meantime, I'm going to worry about whether he will actually do the job the Secretary of State has to do, and that is to give the best possible advice to the president on foreign policy.
OK, Thomas Countryman, thank you very much indeed for your analysis. Thank you.
Thank you.